look at this lesson. What a beautiful lesson. To me, this is what we should do all the time. Let not my world, not the judgments that fill my mind, obscure the truth. And the moment we wake up in the morning, that's what happens. We start obscuring our minds with all the things we have to do and all the people that, oh, here they are again. They, made that, they're on that, the old duck shooting thing. Remember the old thing that would come up here and you'd try to shoot the ducks in the shooting gallery, and then they'd go back down and they'd duck underneath, and then they'd come back up and you'd try to shoot them. It's like they go at night, they go away, and then the moment that you wake up in the morning, here they come. Those little guys. And it's like, here's all this stuff coming back up for me to distract me from the sight of Christ. So to me, that's what this lesson is kind of saying. I'm not going to do that today. I am going to ask for Christ's vision when those little ducks start to come up. Oh, here he comes again. I remember him. Oh, here he comes again. I remember him. That I am going to say, help me to see this through your vision. Now, that's exactly what forgiveness is, by the way. We always wonder, what is forgiveness? Oh, forgiveness is something that I have to go do to somebody. And there's nothing wrong with making an amends. In Alcoholics Anonymous and any of the anonymous programs, they want you to make amends and go to people and make amends. That's perfectly fine. What I'm trying to say is the Course takes forgiveness like it takes salvation, like it takes atonement, like it takes the miracle, like it takes so many of these things a step farther in what it's asking us to do. And it changes the perception. It changes the meaning of forgiveness to mean something we do out there to something that shifts inside of us. It's not about them changing. It's about me changing. It's not about them doing anything differently. It's about me focusing on the extensions of love that calls for love. As the Course even says, there are only two things you can do in this world. Only two communications, extending love or calling for love. And so our response is to give love. So forgiveness is a refocusing of our attention on what is the truth. Focusing again on what is coming from that person. And because they can't be any different than you. They cannot be any different than Christ. They cannot be any different than Jesus. The same thing that is in them is in you. We're just like a hologram. The idea of a hologram, it's like if you chip a hologram, the complete hologram is in the chip, right? So the completeness is in each one of us. No, we're not always aware of that completeness. So the truth that was in Jesus is in you. The truth that was in Buddha is in you. The truth that was in Muhammad is in you. The truth that is in Mother Teresa is in you. We all have the same truth. And even those who didn't see it or couldn't see it, the truth was in them too. But they had a lot of the world obscuring their sight. You think of somebody in Orlando, this guy in Orlando. A lot of stuff was obscuring the sight of Christ in him. A lot of pain and suffering. And we're going to talk about why we kind of act the way we act from the Course's perspective tonight in the section we're going to talk about in chapter, I think it's chapter 12. I've pulled it out anyway. We'll get to it. Anyway, let's look at this. I can obscure the truth, my holy sight, only if I decide to intrude my perception upon the world. And that means it's really more about a focus than anything else. Where is your focus going to be? Is your focus going to be on forgiveness? Is your focus going to be on the Christ? Or is it going to be on all the things that change constantly? The world, the person, the circumstance, the situation. All the stuff that is always out there distracting us. Nor can I behold the holy sights Christ looks upon unless it is his vision I use. So I can obscure his holy sight only if I decide not to focus there. But I can also not stop him if I invite him in. So I can get that. I can get that holy sight. It is not impossible. But what the Course tells us ends up happening is we keep choosing for fear so fast that unless we make love just as important in our minds, we will not stay there. And you might say, well, why is it that people choose for anger or attack or separation more? I think it's only because we've gotten used to it. We got a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, there they go again. Oh, there it is again. The better way to respond here is to be defensive. The better way to respond here is to be judgmental. The better way to respond here is to be fearful, because that's just what we're used to. It's what we've gotten used to. But the more you practice A Course in Miracles, the more you begin to realize that love is your essence, the more you have relied on this truth and found your car keys, found this or that, experienced a shift in your perception, been able to feel the love that connects you instead of the anger, felt a peace that passes all worldly understanding when you really would have liked to have yelled at that person, right? We've all done those things. you begin to realize that makes more sense to you. It gives you more than all the judgments. And so when those judgments do come up, they seem more uncomfortable to you than they did before, because now the other is becoming the norm. The other is becoming the truth, and the judgments are becoming something that are not as welcome in your mind. So that's what this is saying. I will obscure the holy sight if I intrude my judgments upon it, but nor can I behold Christ's sight unless it is his vision I use. So I'm going to use his vision. I'm going to call upon his vision in the morning when I get up, and certainly when I go to bed at night. Those are 2 times the Course asks you to do it. And then it says all during the day. So it's really asking you to do it all the time. There's not just 2. It's all the time. But it does give you those 2 points. Remember to start your day with him and end your day with him. And of course, like I said, it says all the time in between. So then it goes on to say, why is this true? Why is this so important? Why is this so important to us? The third line is everything. Because perception is a mirror, not a fact. What we see out here is not happening to us. It's happening from us. What we see out here is what's coming from our own minds. We've got the film playing.